You're going live.
We're going live.
Christine.
Hello.
Happy Sunday, darling. Got some weird news going on, huh?
Yeah, you go, like, I sort of turned the news off on Friday night, and last night a friend of mine calls me and she says, "You're going to do that thing you do on Sunday mornings again?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Well, God, what are they, is she in house arrest? Are the Russians completely taking back over their country? What's going on?" She mostly wanted me to do a look on the situation in Iran, and the women there. So
yeah, it's quite an uprising.
Yep. So take your pick.
Yeah, I agree.
All our favorite people.
Right, a lot. Yeah, I'm just making a banner quick.
Okay.
Russia. Oops, that's wrong. Yeah, that's really strange about she. I seen that.
Well, what he did is he supposedly had two of his lieutenants marched off somewhere and shot, and it kind of made the rest of them nervous. I think thought he could do anything.
Wow, I didn't hear that one.
Oh yeah, that's what I read.
I don't know how many. Yeah, Earth Mama. There's a report out. They don't know what's going on in China. Supposedly, like all the rails shut down, flights are all shut down, and there's rumors that the military arrested Chi and put her under house arrest.
And they've named a general that says he's speaking for the country.
Right.
Supposedly so it's a military
they don't want him in a third term. So,
and when you're a dictator and they don't want you in the third term, that's something. I think we call that a death sentence.
It's the information out of China, North Korea, Russia. You never can trust it. But there's good reporting. They don't know what's going on, basically. So it's all speculation. Yeah. But I didn't hear about that. A couple of generals, you said, or something, were supposedly.
Yeah, they named in one of the reports I read last night when I was just trying to look at it quickly, knowing that all of it could be overturned by this morning. So why should I commit it to memory? It's kind of how I read my history classes too. Anyway, they said they named a general that they said had been on broadcasting on the only thing that's been broadcast. And they still have, 36 million people on lockdown because of COVID?
Oh, I know. I think I read something like one was protesting, been locked down for like 19 months or something.
Mm-hmm.
A long time.
Okay, so are we doing is Chi under house arrest?
Yeah, I never dreamed three leaders could be going down. 45, Putin, and Xi. That wasn't on the radar. Let's see. Good morning.
Well, and it is a new moon, guys. So today's the day to write your list of new intentions, and maybe that this is the truth. Guess what I got, Scott? I got yes.
Uh-oh.
I got yes.
Oh, Jesus, that's a lot of cooperation.
I got a yes. I'll interpret them. I got a yes. And I got a yes. This is like 5 out of 5 yeses, and this is not a deck. I read reverses. So the story is they'd had it with him. That's a 6 of Cups. They no longer wanted to deal with him at all. And they all got together in the back room, 2 of Cups, and they came to an honest decision that they wanted a whole new path. They're making choices. Lovers, if you don't know about that, when in the original tarot decks in Italy, the card of the Lovers was called Choices. And so guess what they did to him?
That the ace Four of swords?
That's the five. That's a five of swords.
Oh, five of swords. Okay.
And someone new is emerging. Someone with a strong message. This is like the page of swords.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's a really strong yes. And I picked this deck. It's called Mystic Mondays because it's all very abstract images, and it always helps me. I don't get tied up with the decisions with the visions I've had. What'd you get?
I think you're correct. I grabbed my white cats. So I got two of swords, Temperance, and Ace of Swords in the past.
Yep.
So there were choices going on. What do we do? What do we do for better? And then here's the Ace of Swords. Well, it looks like the King is kind of like we need
tapping a new leader.
We need something. So then we have something better coming in, and a group of people with the Nine of Cups, Queen of Cups, and then the Four of Swords, and that's in the current. So that would be a different party, a group of people coming together for a better purpose. Female energy, but that's more democratic feeling because Queen of Cups is my USA card. So it's kind of a better card. And then Four Swords would be locked up or kind of like house arrest. Right? And then moving forward, I got a Tower. Secrets, Tower, the Tower moment, Seven of Cups, Secrets, and then the Eight of Swords locked up.
Oh. Yeah. Well, you know that last year, for the first time since the 1970s, the U.S.'s GDP was better than China's.
Really?
Yeah. And China don't like that.
Bottom of the government, I got the Hierophant. So here's like a new government trying to establish a new government. That is weird. In the end, I have a possible illness for Chi with the Three of Swords and the Fool.
He better avoid windows.
Yeah. That's all of our energies, Three of Swords and then a Fool. So yeah, that could be a window there, jumping off that ledge. Really strange. Really strange. Wowzers.
I mean,
something definitely going on there.
Can you find Angla's name on there? Oh, you're new Iranian women. Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that first. I got Angla's starred there.
Okay, fine.
But a couple things are Italy. Yeah. Unless there was something else.
No.
Something, Ravenstone, you said things. Okay, I'll just star that. Oops. Didn't want that. Okay. So they're protesting the murder of that one woman, right?
And this morning, the last numbers I saw, 17 women have been accurately reported as being killed in the riots.
I've seen a few videos on Twitter. There are people, some men are actually standing up. I've seen some videos of some old guys or whatever slapping women because they don't have their hijabs on or proper clothing or whatever, you know. So, how is this going to play out? It feels like they're in for the long haul. Want change.
In for the long haul, but it's going to be rough. You know, in the 1970s, Iranian women, you could have dropped a woman in from Iran in the early 70s into the U.S. and she would look just like us. They wore short skirts. They weren't all covered up. That all happened when the Ayatollah took over. And So women my age remember not having to be all wrapped up like a burrito. Um, and their kids also, because my daughter said, don't I remember that when I was a little kid in Iran, people didn't dress like that? And I said, yeah, you do. She's in her 40s. So there are a lot of people who ain't going to take it anymore. It's going to be a long haul, though. I've done 3 different readings on it, tried it, wording it 3 different ways. They're not quite ready to for this revolution. But revolutions are not things people are usually ready for. But their problem is getting rid of the devil that sits on top of them.
Oh my God.
They don't have the wise people to help them. They're not sure what structure they want, but they definitely want out of the heartbreak. But that's not like an immediate yes. That's not like a yes like with she. What you got?
Yeah, pretty much strange, but strength, convictions, long haul, and anxieties. So strength, Knight of Coins, and the Nine of Swords.
Mm-hmm. So
there is strength and conviction. It will take a long time and a lot of anxiety and about this. There's obvious fear of retaliation. Mm-hmm. But then I had the Chariot. The Chariot, Knight of Swords, and the Six of Cups. Mm-hmm. The women there and even men are focused on a better. This is wrong, right? Mm-hmm. The focus is on change, and there are people there that are ready to take that power and take that action with the Knight of Swords and the Chariot to move forward. But it will take time. And then, funny enough, too, you said the devil, and I got the devil too.
Yeah.
So, a Knight of Wands, powerful energy to remove the devil, and Ace of Cups in a loving kind of way. So, the people there are focused on change no matter what. Unfortunately, there may be some more unfortunate situations.
Well, they've got to have allies outside that can help them in the transition.
I mean, especially when you have older men or traditions that don't want to change.
Yeah, it's sort of like having the Catholic Church on your case, Men wearing dresses telling women what to do. I've never understood it.
Yeah, it's kind of like rural old men in Wisconsin here. They won't change. They're going to support 45 no matter what. They're kind of like in their own bubble.
You act like I live in a state where I haven't seen this phenomena before.
Yeah. Love and power to those women in Iran. Like I said, there's young people that believe this is wrong too. So there's power on their side.
There's also a lot of Iranian diaspora around the world. If you don't know who Trudy Lee is, she's a reader. She lives in Central Texas. Her husband's Iranian, and they did a show the other day talking about this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I follow Trudy. I haven't seen that one though.
Well, she hasn't been on much. She's been rearranging things in her world, but yeah, she and her husband Johnny did a show.
Good morning, Ian, Lisa. So much chaos in the world, but change can't happen sitting on the sidelines. Just like voting in November. But, oh my gosh, to put yourself out there like that, but
Angela, who you have highlighted here, she is a person who follows us from Finland, and she was kind enough to send me this morning the press release from Finland about how they're fixing to close their borders more tightly. She said there hasn't been. I had asked her yesterday. She and I did something, and I'd asked her if there's like a rush on the border. Well, she lives on the other side of the country, but she said no, that's not how it was being portrayed, and that they're still allowing people in who have family reasons. humanitarian reasons. But the main reason that they will close the border even more tightly to Russians is because it causes them so much grief dealing with other countries, being the next door neighbor, being Russia's largest contiguous border in the European sphere. And they expect it. They expect it to. They're also putting new restrictions on companies that still deal with Russia. And she said, I mean, Western companies, that they must assist the authorities in tracking things down. So they just don't want it spilling over their land. What are you laughing about?
Geek Hillbilly. Yeah, I think he told us about that. His neighbor keeps putting up Trump flags, and every night I take the overpowered light gun and set it on fire.
Yay! I was driving around a part of Dallas that's very conservative. It's called Plano. It's not completely, it's changing, but used to be there were all sorts of Trump signs and don't tread on me flags under their American flags. I drove down a main street heading towards a place a couple days ago, and I only saw one. And there used to be just the whole street. So something's going on. We must remember to greet them with love and light. So,
yes. Kind of weird here. I'm seeing a lot of deception from this one.
I see no. I mean, I just got a flat ass no. But he's doing it. Whoever this is doing it for the money.
Yeah, I got that too.
But it's not going to work. People in Italy still have memories of what they got dragged through. They're not going there.
That's what I have moving forward. Yeah, there's some kind of money there. Was she a good person before? I'm getting like good energy in the past and ties with money to someone else. I mean, like I got Empress, Emperor, and Six of Pentacles. So there's some kind of connection with her, but the Empress is a good thing. But the Emperor is kind of an authoritative figure, but moving money between or whatever. And then I have I think her activism was funded by something, maybe Russia or some kind of bad entity. With the High Priestess, Chariot, and the Knight of Pentacles. So there's some kind of secret funding to what she wants. So, but moving forward, I have 10 of Swords, the Hangman, and the 5 of Cups. That's pretty bad moving forward. Burden, complete loss, and hung out in the cold with the Hangman there.
I asked if she was bought out for the money, and I got the Magician, yes. And she's doing it without any delusions about who the people are that are giving her the money, by the way. She sees it as her path to success. It's not going to be, because when the moon shows up after the sun, it means you think it's bright and shiny. Guess what? You're walking into a dark, dark night. And at the end, the people of Italy want a peaceful home. They don't want what she's peddling. I think maybe she's a Carrie Lake. Carrie Lake voted for Obama, and now she's running over, raging out the mouth because that's what gets some money.
Now she went full crazy.
Well, that's Kristen Sinema. And I'm not saying it's just women who do this. I'm just saying Kristen Sinema, who campaigned for Nader, and then that woman's been all over the map.
Yeah.
I kind of like birds.
She always felt like a me girl now that she's got power. I've seen videos of her when she was in the state. Totally different person. Unless she was faking everything, but Now it's all about
I
me.
think she went with whomever had the money at the time.
Seems that way. Yep, yep. Yeah, I just don't see these fascist type people. Thanks, Linda. That was fun. Okay. Governors. We're talking behind the scenes, but one of the better polling, don't worry about polling. But it's kind of funny after this migrant thing that DeSantis did. The latest polling I've seen from a good source was +7 for Chris, which is good news over DeSantis.
I can't imagine why people would think sort of human trafficking is sort of doesn't qualify you to be governor. I just don't.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like they're imploding themselves. Why would anyone in an election year try to do something bad to people and expect to win?
Because they've seen people do it.
All right. Nebraska governor's race between Dem Carol Blood and Jim Pullen is being. Oh, Jesus. Refusing to debate. Nebraska. Can Nebraska's governor flip blue? Real red states. So they got to split it or do two separate piles here.
I'm gonna do her first and a yes no and him underneath and a yes no for victory. Okay.
Okay. Dem Carol Blood being sworn in as governor.
Okay. There's still too much out there that's going to come to light to make a decision, but she got messenger. She's slow and steady with her race. Her running in this race has been a tower time for a lot of people in Nebraska looking at things, but she has some powerful authority figures or some powerful structures against her in Nebraska. And you got some people who are nostalgic and want to hold on to the old guys, but then she gets a happily fulfilled place. So this is a 3 yes, 3 no. And he got the same thing. He got him differently, though. People have this illusion that Republicans are going to create some sense of security. How they could think that, I'll never know. But his judgment's upside down. He's not making good judgments. But he has all the connections to keep raising the funds and doing what he needs to do. And his reverse is Perseverance Gardens. That's him not wanting to debate. Somehow that's going to get changed on him. And he's not all that bright, but he's also 3 yes, 3 no. So I think there's too many pieces in play there to be able to call it yet. Her cards actually look better for winning than his did. His are all, I'm not going to face the music. She at least is out there trying to get the message across.
Yeah, my guides kind of feel like she's going to come up short, but it's hard to say the same thing you're saying. It's too early to call.
Yeah, he has a couple months left to do really stupid stuff.
So, okay. So for her, I got 10 of Swords, Knight of Cups, and the battling card of 5 of Wands. Not good. Bad energy.
So
it's like there's failures going on, but powerful love on her side, but it's a problem balancing her messaging into the people. But then in the outcome, I have Hierophant, Seven of Cups, and Six of Wands. So there you kind of like the aspirations of being the governor is an illusion, but a victory. So it makes no sense with these three together, right? So there's still a battle going on for the governorship. For him, I have King of Swords, Five of Cups, and the Moon. So it's like him, deceptive, loss, and a ton of secrets coming in. And then Knight of Swords, Hangman, and Knight of Pentacles. So it's like backed by the money, but it's a weird throw for both. I mean, nothing makes sense. He's writing in there with negative ads, negative energy. Hangman, he's basically screwing himself.
He's stuck in the past.
He's stuck, but the Knight of Pentacles show money coming in for him. And a clarity, I grabbed my cards. I got King of Swords and Delusions for him. So it's like this makes no sense as far as win victory. There's a lot to play out yet. But when I ask my guides, she'll come up short. And that's what my sense was. So
maybe she should just have her own debate. You know, do the statewide thing without him there. What's he afraid of What's he afraid of answering? And I mean,
it's tough for the red state to break through. I mean, these ads are horrible for the Republicans. It's like my state. Ron Johnson's ads are all lies about the Democrat Mandela Barnes. All lies. You know, and Mandela's putting ads out about this is a lie. This is what I believe in. You know, it's like when you get these ads, people just think that Mandela Barnes is bad when they're stuck, you know, because they're putting out lying type ads, and it's just it's wrong. Because it feels like the same way when the people are unwilling to change their mind when they're stuck in that path.
They don't want to admit they're wrong.
Yes.
They don't want to admit they voted the wrong way.
So in this essence, it's kind of early. Something we can recheck in at, you know, when it gets a lot closer. The energy can change, messaging can change.
Also, you and I shared with Scott a publication I got from Ballotpedia, and they listed all the places they're going to start voting. And a lot of places are going to start early voting within 2 to 3 weeks of now. So, you know,
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Topics of
right after the hearing on the 28th, right?
Yeah, I know, right? That's always okay. She mentioned this twice. Let's hit that right away.
Okay.
The hearing, the 28th. How lit is this going to be?
I'm gonna do
lit up. I seen what was it? Liz Cheney was talking about they received about 800,000 messages, texts, emails from the Secret Service about in and around January 6th. 800,000 that they were missing before, and they still got to go through other things and put things together. You don't think that's going to take a little bit of time? Then there was another guy that was working for them. He was on a interview or something, and he was saying there was a call from inside the White House that was calling an insurrectionist, one of the Proud Boys, whatever. They know the outside call, according to him, but they don't know who made the call from the White House. But to get the guy outside flipped, they know. Oh, going to Utah. Yeah, I think we said that a while ago, like a month ago. We said we were both getting there was going to be one more hearing,
Right.
and it came up. So right now they just plan, according to what they're saying, is that they have this hearing and then a final draft, which could take months. But we can check on that. All right, 28th.
What I've got is I have my in card is damn that place sucks, but it's upside down. So the committee has so much more stuff than they ever thought they'd have because it's got the supporter of ambition and business for success. So this is the precursor to them. You know, there's a bill that's been put up by Liz Cheney and Zoe Lofgren, who's a congresswoman. And it's to really tighten up a lot of the stuff and not let them get away with this crap. It's really going to explain a lot of things. The base of it is this isn't a party place. This has been hard work, and they're not taking this lightly. And they had to break through the disinterest that the American public actually had when this started. It was like, it's not going to be interesting. They've broken through that. But in what's facing them is Struggles Avenue, and they're trying to, you know, keep it relevant, keep it to where people understand it. And it's not, you know, the people who are working on this does not make them happy. As a matter of fact, it makes them very sad. So it's hard for them to work on it, but they're doing a good job. And then the thing that helps and hurts them is people want a stable government. And if Xi's is under house arrest and Putin's like wherever he is, and they're seeing what's happening, people in this country don't want us to have that in the streets. We want a government that works. They're still fighting the Republicans not cooperating in any way. And there are going to be a whole lot of stories from the other side about something shady, about how the material is presented. But it's going to bring down the House. It's going to bring changes about. So this hearing is going to be really interesting because it's going to go back into our insecurities and make us look at them. And I think they're going to bring out some stuff that even with the clever imagination I've had all my life, I could never have thought of doing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I'm sensing more about money funding,
right,
coming in. We're going to focus again on 45. So we got Emperor here, money funding, and connections made with 45. So I'm thinking there's more 45 stuff. I also sense a lot about the Secret Service with a Chariot Star and 2 of Wands. Oh, that was 5 of Wands. Sorry, with the that feels like January 6th. 5 of Wands, 2 of Wands, Chariot, and Star feels like more stuff about the Secret Service movements, Proud Boys and whatnot. And then something about pressure, death, the sun, bringing anything to light about death, sun, and persuasive powers. How more about how the internal pressure with the inside the Trump realm.
Right.
Pressures to change everything. It's more about that. And then I have women in the end. More women. I don't know if Cheney's going to be taking the lead or Lofgren in the hearing.
I don't know. It depends on what they all kind of divided it up.
Right. But I have women energy at the end here. Bringing in the power with the Ace of Wands. So, but there seems to be a lot of focus on money. Or the hearing can be about women funding. So we've got a lot of funding going on. I mean, what was that? Women for Trump.
And, well, that's who supposedly was the back of that rally.
Yeah, there's
the women that were behind
it
that.
could be something about funding because the Queen of Coins here about funding or something for these rallies and more information about that. It feels like it's going to be a lot, but a lot of funding things about. They were trying to get a lot of things with the Secret Service missing, so
Mhm.
things they found probably with they're going to bring out here. It's Stormy Daniels. That's old news. Put them all back. Okay. Since we're on that,
Oh.
Ginny's supposed to be coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Is she gonna lie? Is she gonna plead the fifth?
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna ask if she's gonna lie.
It's under oath. Ginny, coming in finally. It feels like multiple sources, Marie, with the money. There was multiple groups funding and bringing in bus loads, and
Mm-hmm.
it was coordinated completely.
Okay. She came out. This is a 10 of Pentacles. It's called Abundant Legacy Avenue. So she felt like she was totally protected. And she hung out there trying to not make a decision to come in and speak. But the way I asked the question is, will she lie? Yes, 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 and yes. And it's the darkest before the dawn is where she's sitting. She's really feeling she's under it. She thinks that Clarence will be able to protect her somehow.
Oh, good
And
Lord.
And she's also, she sees them, she feels like Roberts won't, if anything happens, Roberts won't go against him and toss him to the lions. I think she's wrong. I think what Roberts, this is just an instinct I have about Roberts. I think Roberts is going to resign to give
Really?
Biden a chance to replace 2 seats. And I think Clarence is going to be gone. But I think she's going to lie because she thinks she's protected. Or the other option of looking at those cards, she's so delusional that she doesn't know she's lying. She's just nuts.
Yeah, pretty much. Weird toss. I see some kind of delusion of protection.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna lose whatever she decides to do here. I'm not getting a positivity here, but what my card throw is telling me is that there's an investigation into her beyond this. Light and investigations here with Knight of Swords.
Mm-hmm.
I think there may be a little hint as she goes in about criminally charged or something like that. But I think there's an investigation already going on out here. What I'm getting from that, if you want to check.
Yeah, I've just had a flash.
Yeah, so then I got the Magician and the 10 of Swords on her. So it's like she comes in there and she gets thrown off for a loop.
Mm-hmm.
Right? She's expecting she's going to plead the fifth on something, say what she can, but then there's some kind of, like the J6 lawyers that do most of the questioning kind of put something out there that you're going to be in big trouble beyond what your delusional beliefs are.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end here, I got all bad cards for her. Like
Yeah.
she's gonna be indicted.
What
So
I
here's her
saw.
indictment, losing
Mhm.
everything, and then heartbreak and problems for her.
Okay, what I saw is she's walking into this with heavy burdens she doesn't even know. She thinks she's gotten the best advice. She thinks she's gotten the best advice about what to do. Um, but what's going to blindside her is news that's brought in that she didn't know they knew, that so ties her to it. She can't lie. She's going to sit there and da 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 indecision way. But this is her out card.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what the magician means.
Mm-hmm.
When she goes in there, it's like her plan gets faltered. It's like I see like the like I said, the prosecutors that work for the team
Mm-hmm.
bring something up, and she's like pretty much has to plead the fifth because she knows she's
Yeah,
in
for
trouble
sure.
if she lies.
Mm-hmm. Or they let her lie and then they pull out the thing and say, then how do you explain this? Because they don't have to tell you everything. I've sat on a grand jury and I've watched them catch people that were coming in because they were going to talk directly to the grand jury and not get indicted. Unless you're really clean, that's not the best idea. And that's what would happen to them. So,
Because what we heard there is that they have emails, her,
mm-hmm.
you know, emailing Meadows and other people in the administration, emailing Wisconsin representatives or Arizona representatives to do this, to
Mm-hmm.
subvert the election. No way she gets off. No way. And then helping her group was funding buses and whatnot back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How does
So
Clarence Thomas feel? Do I have to go there?
let's give it a shot. It
Uh,
all ties together, right? Find out what's going on behind the scenes. Yeah, it makes sense, Earth Mama. When she goes, it's going to be like a domino. Good morning, Seattle roller dirty pan.
okay.
Interesting. Gotta like that. Morning, Kathy D. Correct. Correct, Fed girl. That's my understanding too. That Ginny was not subpoenaed. They came to an agreement for her to testify. Whether you're subpoenaed or not, any testimony is under oath.
Right. He's seeing the end of his joyous little life that he's had, and he feels, and he's going to give it all up for her. This is the Queen of Wands. And her thing is, she's a supporter of ambitious business, but he sees that his crown's about to be lost, and his out cards are, this is what's happening to him, the win or lose way. He's got to live with it whatever happens, and he's going to go out into restful solitude. I think he's going to take some sort of retirement thing so that he can get. Somebody asked why I thought Roberts would throw himself on the sword. I think you can do a whole lot of horrible things for a long time, but eventually, if you have any kind of soul in the middle of you, it gets to you. And Roberts has voted in ways that showed that he may have certain political philosophy, but he knows right from wrong. And I think he knows how badly the court has screwed up, and he'd just as soon not be in charge of it when it all falls down, when they really come in looking, especially at the money that's gone into putting those guys on there. Anyway, that's my answer to that question. But how does Clarence feel? He's just trying to find an easy way out.
He's trying to hold enough strength. I'm not. It's a weird toss here to try to figure out that energy, but again, I have a magician coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something going on behind the scenes. I think when you have a magician or a creator or someone crafting a deal, and then we have immense burdens and pressures on him,
Mm-hmm.
and then someone else. This ain't him. So there's like other entities. They may be talking behind the scenes. It could be even Thomas or Roberts or the court, something.
Hmm.
But extreme burdens on him. His legacy. He's worried about his legacy and the funding and whatnot. In the past, here I have recent past.
Hmm.
So it's kind of like the strength card, the rule of law, ace of coins, and five of swords. It's like I'm feeling that's only his legacy. So he's worried about his legacy right now. It's like it's crumbling, and it's going to be his
Hmm.
wife. His wife is going to bring him down.
Yep.
The Queen of Coins, Six of Cups, and that energy moving forward, victory. But it's not his victory. His wife is going to bring him down here. But I think there's something in behind the scenes because this is too much. It's like struggles, betrayal, a lot of conflicts behind the scenes, but there may be a deal in place already with this. There may be a deal in place already, but they're not taking it. But I just do not see. On the bottom of the deck, I have the rule of law with the King of Swords.
Hmm.
The, that Garland feeling
Hmm.
with that the rule of law it stands tall. So there's a lot of pressure there. I just don't think they can get out of this. But like you said too, I do sense they both think they have security, but when she gets to the hearing, it feels like, oh,
Yeah, it's different to say I'm going to go in and do this and that. And it's different when you're looking at people that have real information, that live in the real world, that don't tie into all of your fantasies.
I want to toss on Roberts because I never in my realm felt him leaving.
Okay.
I just want to toss on it. I mean, not in that way.
That he resigns just
Yeah.
because he does. Well, there's that old thing of I won't need to spend more time with my family,
Oh, of course.
which is not a reason I'd give if I was Clarence Thomas.
John Roberts, Chief Justice.
Ouch. I got that it's a yes. I got that it's a really a possibility. He's tired of how badly his life's been disrupted because that's the restful solitude way reversed. He really thinks that's the only way to rescue any kind of legacy he might possibly have.
Hmm.
He's really fighting it because he doesn't. It's Independence Avenue turned upside down. This Nine of Pentacles. He knows it's going to put him in a rough place for the rest of his life, but the two cards in the future are holding tight avenue and supporter of compassion. So
this is strange.
oh.
Well, I usually do a 9 card here to get with my cards to try to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
So in the past we have Queen of Cups, Light, and Queen of Coins. It feels like reminiscence of the old days.
Right.
Things were better in the old days. There wasn't these arguments. There wasn't this craziness.
Mm-hmm.
So he felt like the court was actually legitimate, basically before 45.
Mm-hmm.
So then moving forward, I think you're correct. I think that is in his thoughts. The tower moment, the drastic change, the conflicts, burdened about what's going on now. And then Page of Swords is thinking of a different path. It's like I just don't. Isn't like all these conflicts and all these problems and the, what everyone says about the court. It's
And it's all going to be when he was Chief Justice.
right, preparing for the future. But the end card is okay. The end cards, I have a lot of infighting within the court.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, something new, another path being, there's a change. But then I have in between, though, it's kind of like the strength card. And then we have
Mm-hmm.
the court or the Constitution. And that's telling me he would stay. Even though fighting through all that, but if there's a balance that comes to the court, let's say Clarence goes, the conflicts go, and then Kavanaugh's investigated, and then he ends up going. The legacy can change because he's never been ultra right. He's been in the middle.
Yeah.
Generally. So his legacy is not. I mean, he's in charge of the court, being chief, but so there is a lot of worry there. There is thought about just. But when you leave, right? But when you leave, all right. I just had this thought: when you leave at a drastic moment, that legacy is still there. If you fight through it, past the memory, then you have a better legacy. That kind of just goes,
Yeah, but what is he going to do about Amy Coney Island, who is sort of the Supreme Court equivalent of loose cannon in South Florida?
Right. I don't know. The thoughts are there. I do sense the thoughts are there. Right now, I don't see him actually walking away. He's like, if we hold on to this mess, change things, it'll be okay.
Yeah, but you got to realize that when we sweep and we have the blue tsunami, that then he's going to have the Justice Committee romping all over his judges.
True.
And how complicit were you in all of this? I think he's like the frog in the hot water thing. The water just kept getting heated, and finally, when he should have been able to jump out, he was boiled. So
true. I mean, I do sense it's there once I looked at it, but it's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough thing. It's like even when we read on Trump all these years, we're sensing what he's thinking, but he actually doesn't follow through.
No, you're sensing what some sort of human would think. I don't think any of us get close to Trump's mind because we all come out of it sane at the end of the day, right?
Right. And even with a lot of these GOPers, they don't like this deep down. They don't like 45 deep down.
No, they like power, and that's all they care about. And
right.
I've been around politicians too much. I've been around politicians since I was 3 or 4 years old, guys. I'm 73. I mean, and in some ways they don't change, but in other ways, I can remember as a kid, you couldn't sort of tell the difference between a Republican or a Democrat in many ways. But
oh, I know. I mean, Roberts isn't.
No, he's not Simon Pure. Let me tell you, I'm aware of it.
He's not pure. I don't know. It's what we're dealing with now, and just pray the court justice comes to Ginny and her husband
through her own mouth. Thank you, Ginny.
What's that Monopoly deck you're using?
It's called Life is Like a Board Game. And if you want to learn tarot, I've been screwing with cards since I was 12. This deck, the descriptions of each of these is very, very good. And I would put it next to a traditional card I was looking at and put this one next to it, their definition, like the Seven of Wands, which is sort of people fighting in a way. It's Perseverance Gardens. It's how to get through. And then like Death was an easy one for them to draw. And actually, it's a pretty good image of temperance. It's the water spreading two ways. Once I saw this deck about a year ago. It took a little while to find it, but now it's out there generally, and you shouldn't have to pay an arm and a leg for it. If you buy through Amazon, always make sure you look at all the vendors, because sometimes they're undercutting each other.
One of our friends wanted us to look at how this is going to play out with Putin's government demanding 300,000 troops.
Okay.
You know, I think you mentioned that about people leaving, not doing it. Now Zelensky, I seen, said, if you come to our side expecting to fight, you can turn yourself in. You'll be treated humanely.
They are treating them more humanely than they're getting treated when they get carted home injured. So,
I seen a video. What was it? I think yesterday, I found a video of one of the people I subscribe on Twitter. They're giving those people rusty guns that don't even work. How are they supposed to fight?
They're not.
So how is this? I guess we'll just call it a reserve or a draft. Basically, it's basically a draft.
Oh, yuck. Ooh. Ooh. I asked how it was going to go for the Russians getting 300,000 troops. That's the 10 of swords. That's one of the grislier 10s of swords that I know of. Then the next card was death, right side up, which, by the way, is the only one right side up in this reading. And then it's going to go exactly like what we would think. When people don't fight with meaning in their life, they're not going to fight for anything. And I think this is Putin going down, the King of Swords reversed. And it's just going to make them even more universally despised by the world. It's just not going to come out for them. It's not going to happen. That's what started the Russian Revolution in the early 1900s, was the Tsar forcing people to go fight in World War I. That's what triggered the revolution that brought in the Communist Party.
Yeah. I got a lot of good cards, actually, which is kind of strange. I was expecting to see something bad, but I don't know if I didn't see any signs of it, but it's like the offers of money. They offered them bonuses or something to sign up who may have, but it ain't going to work out. So we got the Chariot, this order, and then offers of prosperity and money to do this, but then I have the Three of Swords.
Yeah.
It feels like a facade, and it's not going to work out. And then it feels like it's just telling me Ukraine's victory.
Yeah.
They're going to have to walk away from. It's like it's a huge failure, because I'm sensing so much goodness here in this toss here. So the Hermit, evaluating what's right, the Eight of Cups, walking away from this battle, Page of Coins is a new direction, and then the Three of Cups, there's a celebration. So you wouldn't be celebrating if you're going to war.
Maybe they're celebrating they're going to overthrow them and not go to war.
That's where it feels like it's going.
I tell you, if I was in Russia, I wouldn't want to sign up to go in the military in the fall, because that means your first battles are going to be in 10 feet of snow, which is also not a place I like to go.
I mean, there's so many gifts of goodness and love here. I mean, I got Page of Cups, Knight of Cups, and the Lovers. I mean, this is gifts of respect and love and offers rather
Mhm.
than pain, destruction, and death. Bottom of the deck, I had 6 of Swords, so we're moving on to better times. So I think this feels like a huge failure.
Yeah, it's going nowhere.
Just so if there was going to be war or added tensions, it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. This morning when I was checking Twitter before I got on, I seen there was drone strikes in Odessa, and they were saying that they were Iranian drones
Mm-hmm.
purchased. A couple were shot down. I guess there was no real damage, but it's pretty much the only way that they're going to have any impact. The forces on the ground they have no
No, they're
good.
not doing anything, and they can't.
They have no weapons. All they got is drones. No one's willing to fight. You can kind of see that the writing on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to end soon. When you don't have weapons, you don't have support. It's going to end. Maybe some Russians sign up in order to cross the Ukraine and surrender. Could be. It's very well could be.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is showing me that to us is it's all good. Offers for the future looking better.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pray on that one. It works out. Okay, I'm gonna delete. Okay. Comments. Okay. Why does Russia charge over what? First Putin. Oh, I guess the Russian government replaced the leader who was in charge of supplies.
Yes.
He didn't fall out a window, but he was replaced. Putin or whoever was acting like Putin replaced them. Unhappy with the supply.
Okay. On a side note, Christine, thank you. I'm glad you were shocked at my age. She thought I was 106, and now she finds out it's not true. Dye your hair purple. People always think you're younger.
Dang, 106. Does that mean you're wise or you look pretty darn good for 106?
It just means I don't have the good taste to die. I don't believe all those lovely messages I get from the other side. No. I just come from a family of very young looking people. My mother, when she died, she was nearly 90, and people thought she was in her late 60s and early 70s. So that's biology. It's not that I use the right cream or anything else. So, well, Evan McMillan.
Yeah, something funny before we read that. Something funny I seen on Twitter. This woman that has a TikTok, she called Mike Lee's office and started out this little jaunt about her cycle that she's having spotting and whatnot. And I need some help in talking to Mike Lee. So it was an aide. And the aide finally goes, well, this is something not for the government office. You should go see your doctor. And she goes, that's exactly my point. Why is he in my vagina?
Oh, dear.
Oh, I think I'm going to have to end this call. But how she did it was hilarious. So why is my Senator Mike Lee all up in my rights or my vajayjay?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to have to end this call.
Yes.
Okay. Evan McMillan, Mike Lee.
I get he's having trouble. He's got the Queen of Swords reversed, and he does, and he doesn't. He's having trouble making decisions on how to connect with people. there's just so much choice there. Anyway, it continues on in that very negative vein, and it shows him not winning at all. When I asked about Mike Lee, he really didn't want to run again. He kind of knows what's coming, and he's not running an effective race. He's not doing all the messaging he should be. But and that got that for this, but there's a part of him that likes the public recognition and that stuff. So he's got people behind him, the magician, who are keeping him running. I think he's going to make it, not because Evan McMullen's not a nice guy, but okay. Wait a minute. I got to mute a mic. I have a new kitten that's taking great exception with my old cat, and they're screaming around my feet right now. So, but I think what it is it's the best thing McMullen has that's going for him is bipartisan support, but it's in Utah.
God.
I know.
Such a tough throw in energy. I got bad cards for both and good cards for both.
Yeah. I think McMullen could turn it around.
Overall, in the end, I think Evans actually got a better shot for some reason. Because I got him as the magician starting.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the Queen of Cups for Mike.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the magician's a little more powerful than the Queen. But I also have them both part of the government, too, they both had the Ten of Cups. It's like, how do you decipher? But I have Mike Lee's Wheel of Fortune changing, his karma changing, and then that's next to, oh crap, I lose, too.
Cool. So my cards don't agree with your cards, but what my cards were basically saying is Evan needs to get it more together, gets his message out more effectively. Because at the end of the day,
I've seen a few of his ads and videos that popped up on, that was shared on Twitter, and they were very good.
Good.
His messaging. And I don't know. It's so weird.
But he was talking to you. Is he talking to the people in Utah?
It seems to be, yeah.
Okay.
But I also have, which is really strange. For Mike Lee, I have strength, but then I have a ton of burdens and bad messaging. So it just feels like this is something that needs to play out. I mean, there could be other things coming up in an October surprise that changes people's minds.
Yep.
There's so much going on yet.
Well, I'm going to look at the 28th because I think Mike Lee's name's going to come up if they start naming politicians, that's when they're going to do it.
Right. If they're stuff comes out that they were involved in January 6th, or people are getting indicted prior that aren't running, that they're associated with, this can change everything. And it's really weird. We read on two different people, and it's like, we got to wait. Ian says he read Mike Lee does have involvement in January 6th. Talking. It just keeps showing there's going to a lot coming up, and it's probably not a good time to be predicting races now until like a few weeks prior.
Yeah.
It's even like in Arkansas, it's like she might win. But then the cards are like, I don't know. Not going to tell you. Oh, Lordy. Yes, I want names. Gosh, it's so tough to read on these races yet. It's such weird energy.
It is.
Well, let's try this one. Maybe they're not involved again with January 6th.
Yeah.
Let's just see if we get a better energy on that one.
Yeah, they redrew her district, Luria.
Oh, what a bummer. Virginia.
I'm just going to read the question Ellen put out. Will Luria keep her seat? Okay.
Okay. Weird people. Oh, the pipe bomber. They would still be putting out the videos if they didn't know who it was. I think they know. We read on that numerous times. I think they know.
Yeah, I got a really quick yes. Yes, it's even in this new district, it's a new beginning. The voters really like her. They want to cast down the burden of other things that are happening in Virginia now that they get a closer look at their whacked out governor. People are going to come out and really vote, and she gets the 10 of Cups as her closing card. So Luria, I think, is going to win.
I got the Wheel of Fortune and United into Congress.
Okay.
Yep, I think she's gonna too. Oh, and bottom of the deck I had being in the House.
Ah. Good.
Yeah, I don't sense that right-winger mentality in Virginia as much as other places. I think Virginia had who was that? The other guy was
well, the Democrats
they had a Democratic governor before the other dude got in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they were like,
and this is the one that brought up the racial teaching race history and all that kind of crap.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah, I mean, he brought out.
It basically got him in there.
And now that he's in there, he's doing like nothing. So.
Yeah, if people would have got out to vote,
yep,
they would have had a different result.
Well, the guy they ran against him is an old soldier. I've actually met him. I mean, he's an old soldier and fighting in the Democratic Party. I've met him several times. He's a really nice guy and he's very affable, but he is certainly not. He wasn't up to the task, I don't think, of fighting back against. They thought we've got it. We've made it a democratic state. And they hadn't, especially when this guy starts bringing out all the racist theories. Oh, Rand Paul.
Well, just think of Booker.
Okay, I'm going to read Will Booker unseat him because I'm not into Rand Paul.
Well, I'll say it once, I'll say it twice. Back when I was reading on Amy McGrath and Booker, who was gonna win, I was getting Amy was gonna come out.
Mm-hmm.
And then the question was posed, what's his future? I'm like, and my guide said he's gonna beat Rand Paul in 2 years. So basically I gotta stick with that. If I heard that in my mind 2 years ago, and now he's running against Rand Paul.
Okay.
So let's see. But of course, I said, go ahead.
I got Judgment. They want to be out of the prison of being locked up with this whack job being their senator. They're ready to ditch him. It's as much how much they don't like Rand Paul as it is what they think about Booker. That they don't like the way Rand Paul would take things. And this guy, when he's reversed, when I get the 7 of Wands reversed, if you look at him right side up, he's like got all the pieces and knows how to make it work. But he hasn't got them together. When you reverse it, he's figured it out. So I think the Dems have figured out how to run around the problems they've had with the voting in the past. And I think that the people are tired of Rand.
I think so too. It's so hard when you read on, you're trying to separate within cards. when you have one person that's evil and the other one better energy, because both cards come out. So I'm trying to figure this one out because I have first something kind of weird. I'll show you guys. The moon and loss and 7, 8 of cups. It's kind of like walking away, but it's like I almost should just throw again, but I'm going to show you. So it's kind of like weird energies, like possible secrets or October surprise, that kind of feelings. But it's also fantasy dreaming, I can't win, and then we have loss. But then later in the throw in an outcome, I have all kinds of goodness. King of Cups, Chariot, and coming together. Angels want him on his side. So I would say he's going to win, but there's kind of murky energies in the background. In the middle, in the current, I have Page of Cups, Hermit, and Queen of Cups. So this is like, offers of love and goodness moving forward. And the Hermit is kind of like evaluating your situation. How can I do it better? Meditation and that kind of feelings. And so there is goodness there, but it's almost like sometimes it's kind of difficult to get that bad guy out of your mind to try to separate. So I tried to think of Booker. I tried to think of Booker getting sworn in. That's what I tried to. I think next time I probably ought to do two piles, kind of feeling, to separate it.
Well, I think it's hard. I'd much rather vote for a candidate, but there are so many times that does come down to the lesser of two evils. But I don't think Booker's the lesser of two evils. I just think it's hard. Anyway.
Oh, good one here. Rudy Giuliani.
Oh God, yeah.
He didn't show up. He didn't show up for his hearing. Now the judge says he owes like $230-some million to his ex-wife. And if he doesn't pay up,
they're going to send him out to go talk to him and bring him home and let him sit in jail till he finds it.
Yes.
My brother, who was a lawyer, they would go before this one judge when it was non-payment of child support and that kind of stuff. And when there was one court, my brother said, if you haven't paid your money, he'd look at his client and said, bring your toothbrush because you're not leaving the courthouse.
Rudy is toast, Karen says. Laura says $250,000.
Plus $10,000 in her lawyer fees.
Oh yeah, plus lawyer fees because he wasted the court's time.
Oh, poor Rudy.
Rudy Giuliani. Much fun. And then he goes on some right-wing podcast and says, I only owe her $50,000. These people.
I think he should go to jail. That's my in card is the devil.
There's a path.
Right, there's a path. But they're going to put up some arguments, 7 of Swords. There's going to be a sincere change in his fortune. He's going to come up with. He's going to find a doctor to give him an excuse, which is not true, and eventually he's just going to find the money. And I don't think he's going to go to jail, but don't quote me on that because he could very well. He should.
Yeah, I'm not seeing jail over this either, because the end card is basically the Knight of Coins. It's like
Mhm.
Fine, I give it up before I go to jail. I have the judge, the emperor, someone that rules upon him, and then we have a new journey, the fool. What do I do? And then I have the nine of cups next to that. So that's kind of like, here's your celebration. Fine, because we have judgment upon him. He is burdened. There is some kind of lying and deceit he's going to do with the seven of swords yet, but then we have a celebration of victory.
Mhm.
So it feels like he does in the final moment come up with the money so he doesn't go to jail over this.
Yeah, it's amazing how the sound of that door clinking behind you straightens out all your delusions.
But yeah, he's got bigger things to worry about besides his ex-wife. He gets that paid, and there's probably another door coming. It's like that one closes.
Yeah, I did just comment in the comments in the chat. Yes, pray for the Canadians that got hit by that hurricane. It was bad.
Oh, definitely, yes.
And I know a lady over there in Nova Scotia that was. And the weird thing is, in the height of the hurricane in the Bahamas, in Jamaica, she had just signed on a new house. The hurricane went over that. And now she's sitting up in Canada with a hurricane going over her there. So
now there's another one coming up through the Gulf Coast. Going to hit Florida now, supposedly. I can't remember the name of that one, but.
Oh, please don't send any to Texas. What happens is everybody gets in their cars and drives north to where I live when we have ones here. Storms don't make it, but the people do.
Yeah, there was talk about that, but I guess it's tracking.
It went the other way, yeah.
Yeah. It looks like it's going to go to the middle of the state, Miss Mar-a-Lago.
Okay.
Just for safety. Yep, I seen that. Patricia.
Mm-hmm.
She said something about if Trump's on the ticket, I am not a Republican. Doing everything she can to bring him down. Okay, we did that one. Oh, what the heck. Let's see what energy we get. Who was on the other end of the call in the White House talking to the rioters?
Okay.
So it's got to be staff. Unless 40, I doubt 45 would be talking to anyone. Staff, Meadows aides.
Okay. I'm going to put out 3 lines. Staff, Meadows, or 45.
Or a sycophant.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm just going to do a spread, and it'll tell me what energy, male or female. Okay. Not this deck. Tell me not this deck. Okay. Who is in the White House calling the rioters,
45.
Proud Boys, whoever was there?
It was staff. I did Meadows and 45. I got nothing. But staff, they were overflowing with emotions because I thought this was their last shot to stay. They thought they were supporting truth and taking care of business. It's a younger male staffer with blondish hair. Could be Steve Miller. Someone that worshipped the corrupt emperor. And they did it because they were terrified that other stuff would come to light. This was sort of their last shot. But when I did Meadows, I got absolutely no. He didn't touch it. Mm-hmm. And what I got for 45 is he told the person in the first line to go to do it. So what'd you get?
Yeah, I'm getting a younger type person. So I have night.
Yes.
I'm getting night. So Knight of Swords here would be the rioters, the Proud Boys, those kind of guys, and then I have a Knight of Wands here, bringing in the communications. Eight of Pentacles surround those two, so they're like trying to create the drama. What's going on? All for the Mad King. King of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune, and the Seven of Swords. So creating all that drama as part of a lie to create an action. Create an action for the Mad King. Unfortunately, I think they know. I think they know with the tower. The tower on the communications, justice, and judgment. That's three majors on this situation with it, so I think they know.
Yep.
So yeah, it's an aid. Most likely, people, is that there's this one dude, I can't remember his name, that came up, and he's the guy that was doing the coffee boy errands for him, garnering up a list of people who to fire, who to put in. You know, he got fired from the campaign or something, and then he hired him. Couldn't get a security clearance, so then he made him like a coffee boy errand guy. He kind of helped out everywhere. That's the most likely guy, I would say.
I'm gonna ask if it's, since energetically, is this the guy? Is that the one I saw? Is it the one that Scott's thinking of?
I wish I could remember his name, but
there's so many, Scott.
Well, you know, there's got to be someone in the White House that is truly on board with this. That's an aid in the realm of everyone. You know, connected to the Willard and the Proud Boys and Stone.
I didn't see it was the coffee boy. I saw someone in a suit.
Oh, well, he did wear a suit. He was a younger guy, about 29, I think. I wish I could remember his name. Names always are helpful.
This is going to be like, when they write the full story of this, it's going to be like all the Russian novels I didn't read in college, because there's so many names.
Most likely, this is a great movie. Sharon asking about the lawyers. So the Trump's main lawyers dealing with January 6th scene coming out of DOJ. All the speculation was about executive privilege. The grand jury's asking, like, Hirschman and all the lawyers were subpoenaed. So that's the speculation, that they were there to hash out about executive privilege.
It's not, you know, people have to understand, when you're working in a grand jury, it's not like a secret that they can hatch. What they can do is they can pull up things, and if they get to that point in grand juries, they can say, okay, we need to take this across the hall and let the judge decide, because those become, is this executive privilege and how is it defined? None of the people that have been mentioned in this really qualify for executive privilege. Now, Trump's lawyers might go over there and argue it, but that's going to be like 5 minutes in front of the judge who's running that court. She's going to say, this doesn't qualify.
Yeah. All the people they have talked to are White House lawyers, not personal lawyers.
No, they belong to the government.
Yeah. So just do it.
And the thing is, they have to be talking about something that has international implications or that kind of stuff, not domestic. So.
I'm getting no. No. They have no case there. Eight of Cups, Magician, and Four of Cups.
Yeah, it was like a grand.
It was a desperate act. You know, an offer is like, what's going on? I'm like, no. 45's burden. Those lawyers, there are a ton of burdens there. They can't do anything. I have Six of Swords again coming out. Everything's going smooth. They have no case. Executive privilege does not apply here. And what
But
they
I
try.
got, they were trying to change the Wheel of Fortune. Because they were in Damn, That Sucks place, which is the Five of Pentacles. And they were trying to stop the changes in the tower, and it didn't work. They couldn't hide their secrets because they got the High Priestess upside down. So,
Yep. There you go, Ian. That's right. 45 and the lawyers are scared of the testimony of Hirschman. He was central, and he spoke at January 6 hearings.
that guy's spooky. He's got little kids' hair behind him the whole time he was testifying, like a silver cast of a little girl with a ponytail and little boy hair on his wall.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. If you see his testimony, and he had this weird panda that was coming out of the swamp. I mean, that man had the oddest artwork I've ever seen.
Okay. Not too many more peeps. We got Nancy's got stuff going on.
Yep. Oh, and tonight, if now is not enough time to have seen me, at 6 o'clock on my channel, I'm going to be live with Kim Carey from Intuitive View. We're going to close out the 9 candles. That's my final day of the 9 candles.
Yep, I caught you and Johan last night. Yep.
Yes.
We did that one. Rudy, we did. All right. Let's do a check on DeJoy quick. Louis DeJoy. Oh, this goes so fast. Sorry, I can't believe it's already been an hour and a half. Oh, they're all dead. They're all in trouble. Besides the legal implications, the Trump family is not going to be working in New York for very much longer. Okay, Louis DeJoy. I think last time I checked him, I was seeing there was a disagreement between the committee. Like one guy wouldn't commit to removing him.
Maybe time to find another person to put on the postal board for Biden.
Possibly.
My show, he is going to be out. It may not be till later in the fall, but this is Moment of Glory Gardens reversed. So his time's kind of almost up. And more mature minds are going to take over wanting to run that. So let's hope.
Celebration.
They're surrounding him. They're not letting him do a lot of
truth. I don't know how he's staying in there.
I don't either. But his next out is starting this. The next card is starting a new stable environment. And after that, all of the cards improve. Soulmate connection place, getting rid of the conflicts in the garden, in the Postal Service, developing new enthusiasm and getting people to do well. And the problem is there's no way to keep the heat up for them to have the lack of interest. But when he's gone, they'll begin to see a lot of changes rolled back. I also have a funny feeling that there are people working within the Postal Service, because it's huge, that aren't doing what he tells them to do anyway. So he's not really in charge.
I'm getting a lot of female energy, like a female will be replacing him.
Yeah, they did put a young woman on there who was one of the first experts in using mail and absentee balloting from Colorado.
Yeah, that might be him, John McAtee. He was doing some bad things within. Thank you, Karen. I couldn't remember his name, but yes. They're still working, on removing him yet. The Sword of Truth is coming out. The Devil, just talking about money. There is an investigation going on. The Queen of Swords here, the devil, the truth is coming. There's still some burdens within. The Wheel of Fortune here, his karma's coming to roost eventually. But there's still some burdens within about removing him. Some confusion, extreme burdens, but eventually it'll happen. With the Sun, Page of Cups, and fighting through the delusions of Seven of Cups. So eventually it's going to come full circle here. It's just a matter of weeding through it, investigations, getting everyone on board. Is there a timing card in here? Not really seeing a timing card. The devil is 15. Let's see. The Sun is 19. Wheel of Fortune is 10.
I see the Wheel of Fortune as October often.
Yeah, well, that's the number on this deck is Wheel of Fortune is 10 here. It'll come. It's just we gotta just wait for the right investigation to come through. The timing, the board to get on track. Okay. To me, it feels like November, December.
Yeah.
Like I think the board only meets like a few times a year to make major.
Yeah, it would be October. That's the next time they have a chance to move on him, I think. And then, October. But if they make a move in October, do they have to wait a number of days before it becomes official? Who knows?
Okay.
But remember, you and I, when we read earlier this summer, we saw that we thought there would be indictments on Trump in September. And when Tish James came out, I went, oh, since I don't write all these things down, but I remember saying that because I remember people saying
we were getting like big drops in September, and there's been a lot of people actually indicted, just not the big players. But yeah, it was that was a big drop.
We should not indict 40-year-olds that steal in their father's name because they're children.
Good one. So I'm grabbing my ET Oracle deck for a message for today.
Yeah, I'm gonna do Gentle Wisdom of the Fairies.
Whatever you're guided. Oh. I got an Andromedan knowledge to manifest your dreams, and then I have flaming energy of love and healing.
Cool.
So that just says you can't manifest your desires unless you're of an unconditional love. When you're scattered, when you have issues, problems with family or whatever, if you want to manifest something, you need to have positive love energy.
Well, are you done with your things?
Yes, I just grabbed two.
I got integrity. This is the fairy of integrity. Integrity is a commitment to your own truth. With integrity comes deep roots which support you in times of darkness till you find your light. Integrity is the basis of self-respect and how to respect each other. And that's where we are right now. We need to hold on to our own light and respect those who we feel have light and understand we're going through some dark times. I mean, the light's starting to shine through, but we're not done yet, which means there will still be days where we're going to question the sanity of what's going on around us.
That darn temperance.
I mean, I want my patience and I want it now.
Yeah, that's a tough thing. Thanks, Linda. Nancy had a nice one too. But yeah, the whole temperance thing, we just got to stay in patience until it actually happens with everything. Manifesting new jobs, new love, it takes time.
Yeah, and we're manifesting into a new time where we don't know where all the boundaries are because the energy is shifting so much that we're trying to figure out how we fit in it.
Yeah, especially there's so many things in play with politics. Do we indict now? Do we wait later? Do we need this person to flip? Do we need to do something else? So many players. You never realize like how many aides actually work in the White House and Congress. Like how many aides do one House representative have or a senator? They probably have what, 15, 10 working for them.
Yep.
That's a lot of different energies.
And it's really hard when you talk to certain people. You can tell they're really smart and they have control over their staffs. One thing I can tell you, if you live in a district that doesn't have someone who does constituent services for you, those are the people who can help you on the ground where you live. But the congressional officers or the Senate, it depends on the size state. In Texas, your senator's offices, each one of them has 5 because we're so spread out. But that's why I always tell people, know who runs things on the ground locally around you. And of course, that's where the people who continue to elect, like people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, she has no idea she's supposed to provide services. That's really their job, to see what's happening in their district, bring that information forward, do what's best for the people in their district. And of course, hers is all, love Trump. But that doesn't help you when your roads don't get built and your bridges don't get built. That woman's not on a committee. She can't affect a bit of change around anybody. She and Boebert, the one from Colorado.
They're nonsense. They don't vote on anything.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any committees. They're there for no reason except to collect money and create chaos. It's nuts.
Mm-hmm.
But
yes, Linda, that's a lovely thought.
I mean,
loved everyone.
Even with the January 6th committees, I never heard of those 2 ladies that testified. Cassidy Hutchinson, never heard of her. And there's other blonde lady that testified, and was on the screen. Like, never heard of her.
But those are the people who really make the decisions for you and get the word up. So I think that's one of the problems they had when Merrick Garland took over the Justice Department. How do we weed out the plants that have been left here behind to stop us? I really think when the story's finally written, you're going to find that out.
Oh, yeah. Lots of rats. All right, everyone.
Well, guys.
Blessings. Nancy's got a little date going on here in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I got to prepare for the show. And tonight, You and Intuitive You premiere for the final 9 candles.
Yeah, and it's not a premiere. It's going to be live.
Oh, you're doing live. It's not a premiere.
We're just the only one that's going to be live. Yeah.
Wow.
I just couldn't put myself through trying to get everybody in. I mean, especially with Mercury retrograde, as it was on the day I did it with Kelly from Dozen Cats. We had it all set up as a premiere and it didn't go. And I had to go back in. We started 6 minutes late because I had to go back in, take the premiere off it and say, start it now. And tech support came down and said, YouTube's having problems. I said, no kidding. Tell me something I don't know.
Okay. Love to everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Scott, for having me come by again. And thanks to all of these people. And thank you especially to Angela for taking time out of her day to send me the news hot off Finland's broadcasting.
Blessings, Angela. Bye.